Hi everyone, it's Sandy Bakos here. Sandy B Stitcher is my channel name. You'll notice I'm in a different place. I'm having issues, just to put it mildly. It's been 2 weeks since I was here. Today is Thursday. It's April the 11th, 2019. Last time I was here, I think, was March 28th. Wow, it's just been crazy. Remember I told you in March that we'd been having a lot of wind come through? Well, we had a lot of damage to our roof on our house and also to our barn. And we had been contemplating getting ready to replace the roof on the house because it's over 20 years since it was done. And so we called a contractor out and he told us, oh, there's really, really bad wind damage. So he said, you should turn this into your insurance company. So we did that, which was kind of a hassle, and waiting around, talking to people, talking to adjusters and all this, that, the next thing. And what it came down to is they aren't giving us squat. What they're giving us, the contractor says, wouldn't even repair it. If he just went up there and just did repairs, they didn't give us enough to even repair it. So, not happy with our insurance company. It's Allstate, I'll tell you. Why not? Supposed to be a really good insurance company. Well, I guess they are, as long as they're collecting your money. 21 years with that company, and we've never, ever had a claim. And this is our first claim, and they're giving us practically nothing. So my husband says, they're out of here. We're looking for a different insurance company. So anyways, on top of all of that, I've been having major stomach problems again. Ever since I had that ear infection and sinus infection, and I took those antibiotics, and then about a week later, I got that virus. And that just totally messed everything up with my stomach, and it's been bad ever since. And I'm working diligently, trying this and that, the next thing, to try to get it back on a more even keel. It's a little better now. What I'm finding out is I can't eat a whole meal. I can maybe eat a little tiny bit. An example, we went to Bob Evans the other night. I ordered a grilled chicken meal with mashed potatoes and gravy and baby carrots, and it came with rolls. I ate half the chicken, maybe not quite half, maybe about half of the potatoes and half of the carrots and half a roll, and I was still miserable. So, but it didn't last quite as long as it has in the past. And today for lunch I had a junior bacon cheeseburger from Wendy's, no fries, nothing else, and I'm okay. But if I would have had fries or a baked potato, I'd be in misery right now. So I guess what I'm learning is I have to eat about half as much as I used to, and just try to eat these smaller little meals throughout the day. I'm doing my green drink, the Amazing Greens, and we'll just see how that works. Okay, back to why I'm in this different place. This is our family room. My computer, I went to record on it, and it keeps giving me a message that I need to recharge my computer. Well, the dang thing is plugged in. The battery hasn't been good on it in a couple of years, and it went not long after I bought it, and I just keep it plugged in. Now it's decided that the battery is too low and it doesn't want to do anything. So I guess I'm going to be forced to go out and buy a new computer. That one is only like maybe a little more than 3 years old, not more than 4. And that just ticks me off. Stuff should last longer than that, but it is what it is. So I'm downstairs in the family room on my husband's computer. This is his area. That's his mess back there. I take no responsibility for that. I take responsibility for my own mess, which, half the time it's probably close to what his is, so it is what it is. I've got some stitching to show you. Not a whole lot for 2 weeks, but I did stitch. I left something upstairs. I'm going to have to pause you here and run up and get that. So let me do that right now because I did want to show that to you. Hang on just a second. I timed that perfectly. Just as I hit that pause button, the landline here on the desk started to ring. Then somebody left this long, detailed message about credit card rates or something. I don't know. And the cat wanted to go out, so talk about perfect timing. This is what I wanted to show you. I have done a little bit of crochet, and I don't know, the lighting down here is different. There's fluorescent overheads, and there's a window over here. So we'll just go with it. But this is that dishcloth that I was crocheting, and I think that's supposed to be the front side. This is supposed to be the back side. I don't know. I haven't used it yet to see how it works, but I wanted to show it to you first. But it is a lavender and white variegated, and so if this works well for doing dishes, then I'm going to excuse me, I'm going to make some more of these, and then excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm going to make some more of these for maybe family and stuff for Christmas. Okay, so that takes care of that. Let me put this back here behind me. My husband's over here next to me getting his jacket on, so I think he's headed outside to shoot. Okay. Okay, so I told you about the roof, I told you about my stupid stomach, and told you I did a little bit of stitching, but I had something else I wanted to tell you about. I'm sure that everybody has heard of the dark web. Well, I read an article in a magazine, and I've got the magazine here, because I wanted to show you, if you want to go and try to find this magazine in a library or somewhere to read this entire article yourself. It's AARP Bulletin, and it is the September 2018 issue. I'm kind of behind on my magazines, but I was reading, I don't know if you can see this on the front here. This is their main page here, is about the dark web. And I read this article, and let me tell you, I thought that I was kind of informed about all the stuff that's going on out there and the dangers of being on your computer and your cell phone and everything. But I didn't know the half of it. And I wondered, I worked out in the business world. I'm only retired a few years. And I thought, if I didn't know all this stuff, I'll bet you there's a whole lot of other people out there that don't know all this stuff. So I thought I'd share a few things with you guys today. If you think you already know everything about it and you don't want to hear this, then just fast forward a few minutes and come back to where you start seeing me show charts. But I'm sure a lot of you would be interested in this, as I have been, and this is one of the reasons why I haven't been getting so much stitching done, is because once I read this, I started going over all my stuff and making changes. Basically, the first part tells you that there's 3 parts to the web, the internet. You have the surface web, which makes up about 5 to 10% of the total internet. You have the deep web, which makes up about 90 to 95% of the internet. And then you have the dark web. And the dark web only uses 0.01% of the entire internet. But it's the most dangerous, and it's where all the bad stuff happens. Now, Surface web is your main things like they had it in here, like eBay, Amazon. Let me find that really quick. I'm sorry. I should have had this open to that page so that I thought I'd remember, but okay. Examples of things that are in the surface web: Wikipedia, Amazon, eBay, Fox News, WebMD, Medicare.gov, AARP.org. You know, those types of web pages and so forth are on the surface web. They're easily, you can easily find them using search engines. All of your, like Google and all that, those are all on your surface web. All right, now the deep web, which makes up most of the internet, which is 90 to 95%. Examples of that are, well, they're pages that you need a password to see, and that they're not generally found by popular search engines. At least that's what it says. They include online banking, subscription websites, government records, emails, and most social media. Examples would be PayPal, Netflix, LinkedIn, Instagram, Bank of America, and Dropbox. Many others, those are just a few examples. The dark web, on the other hand, which makes up just this teeny tiny little bit of the web, these are the sites that provide, and I can't ever say this word right, anonymity. Did I say it right? To users and go largely unregulated. Many of them are legal, serving, for example, communication outlets for human rights activists, but it's also used by criminals to buy and sell illegal wares. Now, what is being used on the deep, dark web is something that was originally made up or found by the U.S. Navy and in the 1990s, and it's called Tor, T-O-R, and that stands for the Onion Router. And what it originally was used and set up by the U.S. Navy for was for spies and other government, maybe CIA, I don't know, because I don't know about all that stuff, but it was basically underground so that these people could communicate back and forth and with each other without anybody knowing about it. So anybody that's on that is totally anonymous. Nobody knows they can send emails, it's all anonymous because nobody knows who anybody else is. Okay? That's what actually the dark web was started for. That was in the 1990s. In 2003, that software was released to the public. And for a long, long time, it was backed up by the government because they were still using it, but it had been released to the public. Well, people like me, and probably you, we never heard about this, but the criminals sure did. And so what goes along with this is all the data breaches where, these hackers are going in and they're breaching the data of like Facebook and all these big companies. I think even some of the credit bureaus have been hacked into. I don't know how much information was lost, but I know several times. Oh, I'm going to have to pause you just 1 second. This is the call I've been waiting for. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. That was the insurance company calling again, and had a good conversation with them, and they're possibly going to send out another adjuster and revisit the claims. So maybe we'll get some more. We'll see. Anyways, back to the dark web. I think I was telling you we were talking about the data breaches, and I've had, I know myself, my pension, where they handle my pension out of, they were breached. There's a couple of other things that we had that financial doings with that had data breaches, and they gave us free coverage for anything that would happen for like a year. So, you know, there's a lot of different ways that they can get your information. And one thing that I found very interesting, I have a Discover card, and recently Discover card started sending me messages each month saying that they had scanned the dark web and that my social security number or my credit information was not out there. Well, what I found out is that's kind of a scam in itself. They can scan the dark web, but most of that information is hidden behind what they call, I wrote this down, a paywall. And the only way you can see what's on the other side of that paywall is you got to pay for it. Somebody's got that information there, and a criminal can come in and pay to get that information and get all of your information and do identity theft. So when Discover Card or any other company that tells you they're scanning the dark web, they can't see behind the paywall unless they pay, and they're not going to do that for you for free. So don't buy into that. That doesn't mean your information isn't out there on the dark web. It could still be. They said most of the victims of identity theft are older people because they have the most established credit. They have the most information out there available for the criminals to get. So what can we do about this? Basically, they said there's 3 things that you can do. One is go to the credit bureaus and freeze your credit. And the 3 main credit reporting agencies are TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And you can go to them, you can freeze your credit. The problem is that if you want to buy a car, or you want to try to get a new credit card, or you're trying to get insurance or anything, nobody can check your credit because it's frozen. And so that can be a pain too. And I have a feeling that you can't keep freezing it and unfreezing it. They probably would charge you to do it after the first time. The second thing that you can do is monitor your accounts weekly. That means all your bank accounts, all your credit card accounts, anything that has your annuities, your 401ks, anything that has anything to do with finances, monitor it every single week. Go online, check it. Make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be. Who has time for that? I'm retired and I don't have time to go and monitor all those accounts every single week. I do monitor my bank account, but every 2 to 3 days I go on there and make sure that everything's hunky-dory. And my credit accounts, if I've been using them, I monitor them, about once a month when I go in. I make sure I check all the charges, make sure everything matches up with every receipt. The worst thing that people can do is, they buy stuff and they just toss the receipt. And then they get a bill and they just pay it. Oh my gosh, that's such a big no. The other one they said is to use a password manager account. I don't think I'm going to do that either. I have all my passwords written down, and I tried to change them on a regular basis, and I hadn't been changing them as much as I could. And the other thing they said, one of the bigger no-nos is never use the same password for multiple accounts, and I was guilty of that. I had been using the same password a lot, and then I'd switch to a different password, and then I'd use that one. Well, no, don't do it. So I'm going through, taking the time to change every day. I'm going in and changing some passwords till I get through all of them. And I'm trying to make them things that would be difficult for other people to figure out. The other thing that you can do is you are allowed to get If you go to annualcreditreport.com, you are able to get a free credit report once a year from each one of the credit bureau reporting places. So what you do is you get that. They give you the report right online. You can choose to print it out or you can save it on your computer. And you just read down through there, and if you see anything on there that isn't something that you know you opened up, then you can go back to that credit bureau and tell them, and then there'll be an investigation started on that. And the way to work it so that you can get one free from each credit reporting unit every year is like, what I did first is I went to TransUnion. I requested a credit report on myself and a credit report on my husband. Went through it all, looked at it, everything's fine. There's nothing on there that shouldn't be. That's great. Now 4 months from now, in the next quarter, 1 quarter from when I did that, I can now go to the next credit reporting agency and I can request a free report for my husband and I from that one. 4 months later, which would be another quarter, I can go in and request from the third one and get it for free. A year from now, I can then go back to TransUnion because it'll have been a year, and I can request free ones again from them. So if you do it that way, request from one credit reporting agency each quarter, over the course of a year, you will have checked all of them, and you'll be keeping on top of your credit record. Just in case someone has stolen your identity or someone has opened an account in your name that you don't know of, you can be on top of it, report it, and maybe nip it in the bud. So there are some thoughts. I felt this was important to share with everybody. So that's it. Again, that magazine, if you want to try to get it from your library or go to your library and read this, because there's a lot more information in this that I didn't talk about here. But it's AARP Bulletin. It was the September 2018 issue. Okay, let's move on. Charts. The charts from last time were Joy. Joy is going to Angelique Vela. Angelique, I don't think I have your address in my new email address, sandybstitcher@yahoo.com. If you could send it to that email address, I would appreciate it. I still have it in the other one, but it's easier if I can get them all consolidated in one. Okay, the next one was the tote bag charts, and the tote bag charts go to Vicki Pickstock. And Vicki, when I sent out the last stuff, I told you I missed putting this in your envelope, so I will be sending it to you with this. And I'm sorry about that. I just messed up. And the bunnies. Lots of interest in the bunnies. And the bunnies go to Nancy's Needlework. And Nancy's Needlework, I don't think I have a mailing address for you. So if you could send that to my email address, I would appreciate that. And then I can get these sent out. Okay, new charts for this time. The first one, this is a cardboard. I'm going to have to restrict this one to U.S. only because it cost me way too much to send it international. But this is Paul Yvonne, Through a Mother's Eyes. This is from 1997. This is the original cardstock that folds out. It's a color chart in there. I'm not going to show you the chart. Through a Mother's Eyes. If you would like this and you are in the U.S., tell me you would like to stitch wedding. That'll make it easy. Okay, next one. I got a lot of Christmas. I got to try to see if I can get rid of these. There's that one. And this one is There's also a chart. There's several other charts in here. There's charts for these little, like, magnet ornaments or whatever you want to call them. And there is a chart for a little school bus back here. And there's also a chart for a girl with, looks like she has a chalkboard under her hands, but I don't, it's just the chart. So if you would like all of those, please tell me that you would like to stitch the tray, because that's how they have this done up, is in a tray. That one, anywhere in the world. I'll send all the rest of these. Okay, this one, another Christmas Santa. And this one has the chart for that, and that's it. So, this one, I want to stitch Santa. The next one is this one right here. Kind of pretty. This one is on a thing with Meet the Designer. The designer's name is Judy Crispins. And that's called Blue Solitaire. And there's a couple of little things on the back, but I think they're parts of other things. So we'll just go with this one. And to make this one really easy, if you're interested in this one, just say you want to stitch blue. And that's all I have for this time. Now I want to try to quickly show you what I stitched on, because, wow, I talked about the dark web so much that it took so much time. All right, I worked on Paris Market. And as you know, this was one I had just started, and I didn't do much more on it. This is the one that I had messed up on and started on the wrong page. So let me get it. This is where I'm at, just that little bit. I did a little bit more on there than what I had the last time I showed it to you. No big deal. Next one that I had been stitching on was Silent Sampler, and I did a little more on this one after I showed it to you. Oh, by the way, Paris Market's on a 14 count. I believe it's an antique white Ada. This one is a 14 count, and I think this one is the vintage country mocha. And there's where I'm at with that one. And then I put that away, and I got out. I don't know if I showed you, if I was working on this one the last time, or if I got this out after. Flower Quaker. And this one is, I got this from Etsy. It's from a shop called Verbena. And I am stitching this one on 14 count Amber Ada. And I hope you can see that. That's where I'm at on this one. And I love this is really pretty. Okay. Then the next thing that I worked on was Frederick. You know, I'm still using that decision roulette wheel, and it's pulling me stuff to do. So Frederick the Literate. This is a dimensions kit, but I am stitching this on 14 count brown Ada that I got at my local craft store. And I think I'm going to need something behind this, so I'm going to see if I can hold this behind it and see if you can see it. This time I worked on that bird over here and I'm having a hard time trying to see, and that border up there on the top. So I hope you're seeing it. So that's where I got to on that. I'm done stitching on that one now, so that one's going to go away, and I think my wheel told me home sweet home, so I'm going to be working on home sweet home. That's the one with the cats and the dogs. And then I worked on my Haid mini mount cabin home, and I have been stitching on this a lot. And I'm stitching over multiple pages, so I probably could have had page finish by now, but I decided to stitch over multiple pages instead of going down. I went across. And there's where this one is at now. So I still have more of that porch roof to do over here on this end. But as you can see, I'm getting into some of the lighter colors as I do go down. And I love this. Oh, I love this. So what I did was, because in February I stitched almost exclusively on Shades of Summer, which is my other big full coverage. So during the month of March, I am stitching exclusively on Mini Mount Cabin Home. So you can look for more to come on that one. That's all my stitching. I am still thinking about Mania, but not Mania as everybody else does Mania. I am getting things kitted up and ready to go. And I will have some new starts during Mania, but I'm also going to work on whips during Mania. So it's not going to be a true... And I don't belong to the Stitch Mania group anymore. It was a little bit too much for me. So just stay tuned to see what I end up doing. So basically, that's about it. I'm going to let you go. I'm sorry if this was kind of a disjointed video and if I took too much time talking about the dark web. I thought it was important. So I'm going to send out my love and hugs to everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. And we're getting into spring. We're the nice weather. I've been out doing a little bit of yard work, but not a whole lot. Got lots more out there to do because we never had fall. So we never really had a chance to do that fall cleanup. So now it's going to be a spring fall cleanup or a fall spring cleanup or something. I don't know. But anyways, again, love and hugs out to everybody. Please continue to send your prayers for Olivia and for Lori. And we'll see you next time. Bye.